Brian Baldinger, our guest. Of course, he is with the NFL Network, and Brian is now back from the SAC Summit in Las Vegas. As you said, Josh Hines-Allen not there this year. You saw him a couple of weeks ago here in Duval. You also mentioned Trayvon Walker. Trayvon told us he only lost 3 pounds. Looks like he's done a lot of nice things with his body. Noticeable weight loss for Josh Hines-Allen. That really has become a big story around here, Brian, about how heavy they played a year ago. And with this new regime, the feeling is let's take off a little bit of weight.
Well, I mean, you do play in extreme heat. I don't think it's going to hurt either one of those powers. I mean, Trayvon is a very powerful player to begin with. I don't think it's going to affect his power. So if it improves his overall conditioning and his movement and quickness, yet doesn't take away from the power, that can't be a bad thing for any pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
They feed each other. They need a better inside, push. They need Mason Smith to really step up this year. Devon Hamilton, some of the guys that are there, I think that's where they really need to improve. I think both Josh and Trayvon have a chance to have, double-digit pass seasons coming up this year.
You got to spend a great deal of time, Brian, with the 34-year-old general manager, James Gladstone, also Tony Boselli, who, of course, takes over as the executive vice president of football operations. What was that experience like, and what was your overall thought of watching him practice?
Well, I've known Tony for a long time, but, he's in a different role now. So I always was able to talk to Tony about, football in general, the Jags, offensive line play. But obviously, his reach is much greater now, and he's kind of on the job learning. I did not know James Gladstone. I knew of him, but I did not know him. But, he comes across as being very bright, very good insight to the game. To see those guys talk about team building and coaching and, over the overall state of football in Jacksonville and around the league, I gleaned a lot over, 3 hours spending upstairs with those guys. And they get a chance to talk to, to both of them, along with Liam Cohen, the new head coach. It was valuable for me, and I think I think this is a good trajectory as Jacksonville hits the reset button here, Rick. I think it's a good trajectory of where they're at and where they're going.
Mm-hmm. The thing that stuck out to me more than any, Brian, is this is the fastest Jaguars team, I believe, ever. When you add Diami Brown and you draft Travis Hunter to go with Brian Thomas Jr., I know you travel around and see each and every team, but was that offensive speed noticeable to you?
Yeah, except that Brian, went down that practice. I think he's okay, but he didn't get through the whole practice. He got collision pretty good, but
yeah,
there is good speed outside. Diami made a big difference in Washington last year, Rick. I don't know how much you had a chance to watch him and study him, but he really came on with McLaurin. The quarterback obviously helped him, and the level of play that he has. And they do. They've got good speed on the outside. That receiving room has undergone as much change as any receiving room in this entire league over the last 2 years of where they were and where they're at right now. So it's still a question of building that chemistry and trust with Trevor. But the speed, should get guys backpedaling pretty quickly, especially with the way I believe they're using Travis a lot in the slot. And Diami's speed has always been noticeable, but he really came on and filled that number 2 role next to Terry McLaurin. And, this Brian Thomas Jr., he had a great season last year. He averaged 15 yards a catch. He had 10 touchdowns. I think he could see much bigger numbers this year.
Final couple of minutes with Brian Baldinger. He, of course, is with the NFL Network. All right, realistically, as a rookie, and I'm sure you got a real good opportunity to look at Travis Hunter. I have a little bit of question of his lower body. I don't know if those legs are going to be able to hold up. How much do you think he can play defense if he's primarily going to be on the offensive side?
I think it's going to be I think he can line up in certain situations and just play man coverage. That's what he's best at right now. But I think just being around him at the pro day at Colorado this year when we went out to see Shedeur throw, I was around him. He was a receiver that day. Got a chance to meet him and talk to him. He's exceedingly bright. He graduated, just got married. He's a mature kid. But he wants to play both ways. He's got the conditioning level of, the most elite of all athletes. I never see him get tired. So that's part of it. But I think mentally, I think he can handle a lot. I don't see why they can't put him out there on the field, 3 wide receiver sets in certain situations right now, and get 10, 20 plays from him on defense in addition to what he does on offense to start, at least to start right now.
Last question for you, Brian. 6 new offensive linemen, 3 new tight ends, 2 new running backs, 2 new wide receivers. Gladstone and company, they've done everything they can to change the offense. It comes down to Trevor Lawrence in year 5. How much can he improve this year if he stays healthy?
Well, I think he needs to make a jump. He needs to be able to he has not won a lot of games as starters, Rick, over the last 2 years. Injuries, instability, things around him are all true. But he was paid to be a franchise quarterback last year. He has to step up. His overall completion percentage has got to improve. His playmaking ability has got to improve. And so I think that Liam will do a good job of, building a solid run game, something that they haven't had in a while, that will help him. But ultimately, he's got to be able to, attack these defenses and make plays the way the winner of this division has the last 2 years in C.J. Stroud. He's got to start playing at that level this year on a consistent basis. And if he can, then I think Jacksonville can climb out of the depths of where they're at right now and get back into this race.
Make sure you get Brian Baldinger on Twitter and/or X. It's at Baldy NFL. Of course, you get the Baldy breakdowns, and as well, you see him on the NFL Network.
Hey, y'all. Lauren Brooks here. Thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and check out all of our great videos and channels on the 1010XL Network.